There's been a new charge added, obstruction of business. That makes it the fourth one now. Guys, we've got a massive update on Johnny Somali, and this one's seriously wild. After already being hit with 7 criminal charges, he's now facing 1 more. That brings the total up to 8. And the newest? Yep, another obstruction of business charge. That's now 4 of those alone. He's really dug himself into a hole, and honestly, it's all on him. If he had just taken responsibility, if he had apologized, if he'd shown some remorse, if he'd paid people back, if he'd admitted fault, we wouldn't be here today. With his next court date set for August 13th, things are looking rough. The evidence is piling up, and no matter what he pleads, it could blow back on him. So, what's really happening behind the scenes? Is this finally the moment Johnny Somali ends up behind bars for good? We're breaking it all down in this video. Let's get into it. So what's the current status and what's coming next? Johnny Somali is now wrapped up in his 8th criminal case. And honestly, it was only a matter of time. But this latest charge might change everything. Not long ago, he was already facing 3 obstruction of business charges. Now, that number just climbed again. Before we go any deeper, here's a quick clip from Legal Mindset explaining the latest. It's a new obstruction of business charge. We now have a 4th count, and this one came completely out of nowhere. It wasn't expected, but it's a big deal because it significantly shifts things under the sentencing guidelines. If you look at the specifics, yep, exactly what we talked about earlier. Another obstruction charge. That's now 4 counts just for obstruction. This new charge is scheduled to be addressed at his upcoming court hearing on August 13th. That's when we'll see whether Johnny pleads guilty or continues to fight it. But at this point, with the way things are piling up, it's highly likely he'll have to take a plea deal. Dragging it out could make things even worse. Honestly, this development is huge. And here's my theory. Because we don't know yet who exactly filed this charge. We can speculate, and I'll share that in a bit. But what we do know is that as of 7/25, that's a Friday, Johnny Somali was officially indicted on a 4th obstruction charge. And this actually shows some progress. It looks like South Korean authorities are finally stepping up and treating the situation seriously. They're going harder with the legal response, which they absolutely should. But here's what's still missing: charges related to his behavior toward women. There have been multiple incidents of Johnny harassing women on the street, like in this clip. Hey, can I squish him? Can I squish him? Sorry. Where's the hoe at? I don't know. I know what you mean. You know what I mean? You just said, where's the... You shouldn't be asking me, though, because I don't know. You don't know where? Probably in the clubs. What kind of... There's a lot of clubs here. You should use your Google. You don't know where the hoe? No, honey, I don't. They're everywhere. Really? Probably. What's your name? What's your name? I don't know, man. I don't think you deserve my name anymore. Come on, man. See that? No one has the right to act like that. Yet there's no sign of any charges being filed for this behavior. And there were several incidents like that, some of which we can't even show due to YouTube's rules. Wouldn't you think this would be exactly the kind of thing that authorities should take seriously? Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, ask yourself, why wouldn't Johnny act like this? Because it's clear who he looks up to: P. Diddy. If Diddy is his idol, that says a lot about how Johnny sees women and how he thinks he can act. And he's made the comparison himself. Johnny Somali sees Diddy as a role model, someone who can get away with anything. So he's harassed people, he's pulled stunts, he's cursed out officials, he's used racial slurs even against the judge, he's made threats to the judge and even his own mother. And when Diddy escaped serious punishment, Johnny Somali celebrated. Shocking, right? You'd think someone facing serious jail time would be trying to lay low. Instead, Johnny's out here cheering Diddy on. Why? Because he sees Diddy as his hero. He's even tweeted, "Diddy got off, and I am next." Ramsey Cletus, aka Johnny Somali, is smiling, thinking he's next to get off easy. And that's likely because criminals look up to other criminals. He sees Diddy's case and thinks he'll get the same treatment. They even look alike, like father and son. Okay, I'm not trying to derail this, but seriously, what are your thoughts on Diddy? Check out this clip. I'm with the Diddy. I'm with the oil. I Diddy the statue here. I put oil and Diddy on the fish with the homelessness here in Korea. I love Diddy. Diddy. Before today, I was listening to Diddy. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home. After everything, harassment, threats, public disruption, he still thinks he's going to come home? Come on, Korea. How long until he ends up in a prison home? Let me know what you think in the comments. As for the legal side, yeah, Johnny's technically still free, and many people think he might dodge consequences again. But this time feels different. Authorities are going for bigger charges, and that could change everything. Here's the twist. The new obstruction charge may be tied to that bus incident. These unexpected charges are likely tactics to keep him off balance. And let's be real, his legal defense is weak to begin with. His charge sheet is getting ridiculous. Now he's facing 4 obstruction of business charges. That's a big deal on its own. And this latest one may be connected to the public bus chaos. If you didn't know, the first 3 obstruction charges were tied to him disrupting buses and causing scenes at Low World. He didn't plead guilty to those. But this new charge? It carries heavy consequences. We're talking up to 5 years in prison or a fine of up to 50 million Korean won, around 38,000 USD. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. He's also been hit with smaller charges for things like throwing rotten fish or blasting loud music on metro trains. For those, he's already pleaded guilty. Those carry up to 30 days in detention and fines up to 100,000 won, or about 75 USD. And don't forget, there are 2 deepfake charges tied to Korean YouTubers, including Bong Bong. If convicted, those could mean up to 7 years in prison. But Johnny hasn't admitted guilt on those either. So when you look at the big picture, it's clear. Johnny Somali is in more trouble than ever before. The charges are adding up fast, and his situation is way worse than most people think.